Hey, welcome. This is Courtney and Gabrielle. We're here with Evolution Wellness Martial Arts, and we're going to be showcasing a couple different exercises here for today's stretch lab.
So today we're going to be focusing on hips. It's a nice way to, we're kind of moving up the body, we just decided.
Yes, we did. We're going to be grounding and then pulling ourselves up.
Right. So today we're going to give you a couple hip stretches that are very simple in nature, but you guys can implement right away into your workouts or daily routine.
Absolutely.
Court will start us off.
Yep, we're going to start off on the ground. So the exercise that I want to do today is called the fire log, and you do need to kind of get your hips ready for that movement. We're going to be working the psoas major, which is a big hinge muscle between the hip and the femur, and it pulls you forward. We sit on that muscle a lot because we're sedentary, sitting in the car, sitting at your computer desk, whatever. We don't want that to get dehydrated and crumble. So what we're doing is we're opening it back up, allowing the fascia to slide back and forth again and restructuring it. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our foot, we're going to put it in the crux of our elbow. We're going to take our other arm and come up and under the knee, and we're just going to gable grab anything that's comfortable right here. If it's comfortable to be out here, that's fine. Meet yourself where you're at. It's no problem. And what we're going to do is we're just going to come side to side, just for a couple of breaths. Go straight spine. Make sure you're up nice and tall. Perfect. And even if you don't feel anything, the stretching is still happening, especially with this area of the hip. So don't be discouraged. All right, we're going to go ahead and switch. Oh, nice pop. Good. Switching to the other side. Excellent, excellent. All right. So now that we have a little bit of movement going into this hip exercise, we're going to take our bottom leg, and we're trying to make a straight line between our hip and our knee, and then another straight line between our knee and our ankle into a 90-degree square. You don't want that leg too far in. You also don't want that leg too far out, but if it's more comfortable to have it out, that's totally fine. Again, meet yourself where you're at. We're then going to take our ankle and come onto the top of the knee. It's okay if you have space. Do this slow, especially if it's your first time doing this. If you have space, that just means your hip needs to be stretched. That's okay. So just find your middle ground. We're going to have a nice straight spine. We're going to inhale and exhale, come forward. Every time we inhale, we make space for ourselves. And every time we exhale, let gravity take you a little deeper. We're going to have 2 more breaths. Inhale. Last one. Excellent. 4 breaths each side, forward, left, and right, are going to be a great way to get you to stretch but not overstretch. So we're going to go ahead and come to the other side. We're going to inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Fall deep into yourself with that exhale. Really make space for yourself. Last inhale and exhale. Great. Now we're going to come to the other side. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And last one. Inhale and exhale. Super excellent. Now we have 2 sides, so we're going to stretch the other side.
I always say that.
So funny. So make sure that hip is in a straight alignment with the knee, and the knee is in a straight alignment with the ankle. We're going to pull the other ankle, throw it on top of the knee, and we're going to start right at the beginning. We're going to inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. One more inhale and exhale. Great. We're going to pick up, come to the other side. Inhale and exhale. exhale. And last breath. Inhale. And exhale. Good. Last side. Big inhale. Really expand, make space for yourself. And exhale. Allow gravity to take you a little bit deeper than you were before. Inhale. Exhale. And last one. Inhale. And exhale. Good. Go ahead and come back to a neutral position, and you can do some 50-50s to kind of ease back into yourself here.
I feel really good.
Yeah.
I feel good in my low back too.
Yeah, this one's really stellar in the back pocket. I recommend this for a lot of judo players. One of the largest injuries you get in martial arts, at least when you play judo, is a hip injury. Most of my senseis have had single, double hip replacements, and this is a great way to kind of alleviate and allow more strength to come into the body. All right.
Okay. Well, thank you, Courtney.
Thank you so much.
So today, everyone, my stretches are gonna be opening up the front of the hip a little bit. So it's really the perfect pairing. I know. Outer hip and front of the hip. So today we're gonna focus on lizard lunge. We call it in yoga. So remember, my background is yoga, Pilates, and barre. So very kind of similar approach to Courtney when she reminded you to just kind of relax into the pose and use breath work to allow the body to open up. We're going to do the same thing here. So let's start with our right knee on the floor. I guess we'll turn so you guys can see me in profile, and our left foot forward. So let's start again with that 90-degree angle. We love 90-degree angles and stretching and alignment. We're allowed to geek out.
Yes,
we are. So let's start in a 90-degree angle. So we've got ankle, knee, and then the knee stacked directly underneath the hip. And let's just start there, because right now your hip is already open. So my left leg is positioned when we drive, when we're sitting in front of the computer, you can kind of see that this hip is now in what we call flexion, and we're starting to move into extension with the right hip. So that's what we're going to be focusing on, extending here, because when this left hip, for example, is closed off for long periods of time, we get that tightness in the hip that just starts to wreak havoc everywhere. Low back, places you wouldn't even think beyond the hip. So we're going to open up and lengthen that today. So we'll start, like I said, right here in the 90-degree angle, and pay attention to how your body's responding to the movements. I always say, don't worry so much on what it looks like, especially when you're beginning. Focus more on what you're feeling and experiencing, because that's going to give you a lot of really valuable information. So for some people, staying right here in the 90-degree angle is fine. Like, they've got a good stretch going, they don't want to go any further. If you do want to start to go further, this left foot is really going to affect your right hip. So as we inch the left foot forward, your hips will start to drop down. And we also want to be always having that left knee stacked over that left ankle. So we only inch that left foot as far forward as the ankle is supporting that left knee. And if you feel like you went a little too far, like this hip stretch here on the right is a little too deep, that's okay, you can just back off. You're in complete control, so you can bring that left foot back however much you'd like. You can bring it more forward if you'd like. Some people like to bring their hands down to the floor. I should have grabbed yoga blocks, but you can always bring yoga blocks underneath the hands, or even like stack some books or something like that underneath your hands as well for some extra support. And then again, we just relax into that right outer hip. I like to say, think about going like 80%. don't go to your max 100% right away. Go to like 80 and hang there for like 5 cycles of breath. We really want to shoot for like 7 or 8 cycles of breath, but we want to be able to comfortably maintain 5 cycles of breath in each stretch here to give the body time to respond. So then from here to come out, we'll gently just walk the hands back if they're on the floor, and then gently bring that left foot back. We can slide it back. And now even bring your left knee down and just kind of compare for a second how each hip feels right now. Because that's a really cool way to learn about awareness in the body, is compare, okay, we haven't opened up the left hip, so how does that feel in comparison to the right, which we've just lengthened. You might feel a little bit more space in the right. You might not feel so kind of like it's clenching or like congested. And let's switch sides. So we'll have right foot forward. Again, 90-degree angle in both legs. And again, you can just hold here for your 5 cycles of breath. We want to approach each side of the body as it's its own stretch. So don't immediately assume the left hip is going to want exactly what's going on with the right, because it might not. For example, my right side is my more dominant side, so I usually have more mobility, more strength there, so you might just have to adapt the left side. So just keeping that in the back of your mind. So if we're inching forward, let's inch forward, and I really do mean inch, like slowly bringing that right foot forward, gauging how the left hip is responding, and keeping that right knee again stacked over the ankle. Martial arts people, this is a great one for you guys to really open up the front of the hips, get that mobility, get that space going in the front of the hip. It's going to increase your range of motion as well for your legs. We'll talk about that in an upcoming episode. But for now, we'll just focus on stretching here. And then when you're ready with your 5 to 7 cycles of breath, we can gently inch the foot back through center, and then relax the knee back and down. And then just come to a comfortable position. So 1 to 2 times on each side is recommended. Again, if you've been sitting for long periods of time, morning or evening, it's a really great simple stretch that can have a huge impact on your hips and on your legs as well.
Yeah.
All right. That's all I have for today, I think.
Me too. Thank you so much for coming to Stretch Lab. Remember, when you know more, you can do more. So
Yes.
have these daily practices.